Do you travel a lot, particularly by airplane? It can be a wonderful experience, putting you in touch with your family, your friends, and new adventures. Unfortunately, that's not all it can do. Hello, I'm Bilga Attar. I'm a physician here in Florida, and I love to fly. When you are flying and you're in a confined space, such as in an airplane, as much as I love to fly and you like to fly, there are germs and viruses that one can acquire. Believe me, somebody on that plane has a cold and they're going to share their germs with you if you're not very careful. If you're aware of the viruses and germs that you could acquire during your travels, I have some healthy tips for you. Let me share some of them. Tip number 1, and that's just before you leave your house, before your travels, I'd like you to consider getting a box of tissues or a small box of tissues like this. There are some antibacterial wipes, I don't care what brand you have, and also there are wipes with bleach in them. The ones with the bleach are good against viruses as well as bacteria, and the ones that are antibacterial is just for hand wipes. And I like to make sure that you can pack these in a carry-on, or it's very accessible where you can reach for them when you're in the plane. Now here's tip number 2. When you are at the terminal before you board the plane, make sure you use the restrooms and afterwards wash your hands with plenty of soap and water. Now these gels that everybody uses is not effective towards viruses, but they're good for bacteria. They're antibacterial, but they do not kill the viruses. And don't depend on these things. Just make sure you wash your hands with soap and water thoroughly. And again, when you're at the terminal, the next thing is buying a small container of water for yourself and for each of your family members. And again, when you're at home, make sure you pack a little plastic bag for a receptacle bag for all your tissues that you use on the plane. And when you get off the plane, make sure you carry it out with you and put it in a container when you're off the plane. Tip number 3 is when you get into your seat, take out this antibacterial and antiviral wipes. These are not hand wipes. These are to wipe the TV screen. People touch those TV screens quite a bit. And the remote, make sure you wipe the remote and the armrests. Wherever you're going to be touching, I would recommend that you wipe it down and put the soiled tissue into that little receptacle that you have that you're going to carry out of the plane with you. And also these wipes, these are for your hands. I would just wipe your hands once when you sit into your seat. After you buckle yourself, you make sure you clean the buckle too with these wipes. And make sure your tissues are handy, close by. Now I like to go over some of the etiquettes on coughing and sneezing in the plane. You're in a very confined space. When you sneeze and when you cough, it just travels quite a bit of distance. It can affect the passengers in front of you, the side of you, and in the back. So you don't want to share your germs with anyone, and you don't want to catch anything from anyone else. When you are coughing, please cover your mouth and your nose with your elbow right over your nose. Make sure it's covered and you're sneezing down, not up. And then best thing is to do is to cough and sneeze. Cover your nose thoroughly and your mouth and sneeze into the tissue. If by some accident you sneeze into your hands, which I do not recommend, you make sure that you wipe your hands with this wipe so you don't share your germs with anyone else later on. Now, tip number 4. Who wants to go to the bathroom in that tiny little airport, the bathroom in the planes that we go to? Nobody. But if you're on a long flight, even on a short flight, if you really have to go and use the restroom, I would take one of these wipes. Just use one of these things to open the latch, come inside, close the door with the same wipe. Wipe the faucets And then if you're going to use the toilet, standing or squatting, make sure you lift the toilet seat. No one wants to see urine on the toilet seat when they go in. So after you use the bathroom and flush, again, use this handy wipe at all times. Wash your hands as much as you can in the restroom with soap and water that they provide you with. And when you get to your seat, open one of these up again and wipe your hands and put the soil tissue into that receptacle that you have. Again, I'm Bilga Attar, family physician, and happy travels and healthy travels to you wherever your destination may take you.